Right now at 6, staff hit the picket lines for the first time ever at Portland Community College.
We want our wages to keep up with the actual cost of living.
Plus,
we've had a very rainy day today, but tomorrow and Friday, even wetter. Weather impact alert for both days.
Then the multi-million-dollar settlement for the widow of a Vancouver police officer shot and killed by mistake.
My heart has been ripped out of my chest. I am shattered and lost.
And a peek inside the playbook that convinced politicians to pour nearly $1 billion into the Moda Center.
KGW breaking news.
But first to breaking news, and a woman under arrest in connection with a fire that severely damaged a Northwest Portland restaurant. Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Wolko. Within the last hour, investigators announcing they have found the suspect in this surveillance video recorded yesterday morning, they say, outside Elephant's Deli. Let's go right to Joe Ranieri in the newsroom. So, Joe, what are you learning?
Well, you guys, I spoke with Rick Graves with Portland Fire and Rescue just a few minutes ago, who told me they received numerous tips since they released the video yesterday afternoon. The arson investigation team were acting on tips when they came upon 56-year-old Catherine Stowe, who has a lengthy criminal record ranging from DUI to possession of a controlled substance. This was the video that Portland Fire and Rescue shared yesterday that they say shows Stowe walking up to the front of Elephant's Deli. What you don't see in the video is her starting the fire, and a few minutes later. Portland Fire and Rescue says Stowe was using an open flame torch to look inside garbage cans. That flame then unintentionally started the fire and spread to the building. The fire started around 1 a.m. yesterday morning, quickly turned into a 2-alarm fire. Nobody was hurt. I did speak with the Elephant CEO, Martin McLennan, earlier today, who told me he's been overwhelmed by the support of the community and said they are committed to rebuilding. No word yet on how long the Northwest location will be closed. So is charged with reckless burning and criminal mischief. Back to you guys.
Yeah, looking forward to that location reopening. Joe Ranieri with that update. Appreciate you giving it to us, Joe. Thank you.
All right, now to a KGW weather impact alert because the driving rain has arrived with the threat of flooding and landslides. We've already seen one, only set to ramp up and down the valley and beyond.
Yeah, right now you're looking at our sky cams from the Oregon coast to the Cascades as we track an atmospheric river forecast to bring inches of rain. Let's get right to our chief meteorologist, Matt Safino, tracking the storm. Matt, sounds like we're talking days of rain here. So what are you watching?
Today was day 1, tomorrow day 2, Friday day 3. It's going to be a long run through the rest of the work week. So we've got a weather impact alert up for tomorrow and Friday. The reason we didn't do today is that even though we had a very rainy day, the impact of the rain really not that great. We haven't seen the rivers get to flood stage or anywhere close to that. And while we got about a half an inch of rain, we can usually handle that amount without too many problems. But tomorrow and Friday, we get much more rain, and so we're going to see the rivers rise. As David mentioned, we've already had one landslide out in the gorge, and more are possible. So be careful driving, and if you need to, clear the storm drains around your house. Make sure the water has a place to go because there's going to be a lot of water. There will be ponding of water, low-lying intersections that drain poorly, and a lot of standing water. Even on the freeways like I-5 and I-84, there'll be a lot of water on the roads. All coming from the subtropics down around Hawaii, spinning its way into the northwest as an atmospheric river will do. Now, the rain is lightened up for us right now, so the rain between tonight and about midnight tonight really won't be that heavy, but then this heavier rain is going to begin to sag back on down to the south, and then we'll be getting after it. So there's the rainfall. And again, about a half an inch so far today, but already over 2 inches on the Oregon coast. And from tomorrow night, or from tonight rather, until tomorrow night, another 2 inches of rain on the way. That's a big day. We get 2 inches in one day. In the Cascades, it is snowing. There's been 22 inches of new snow since yesterday. We'll talk about the snow level and the weekend ahead after the break and a little bit later on, guys.
Okay, thank you, Matt. And as you may have heard Matt mention, as well as David, we've already had fallout from all the rain. A landslide has closed the historic Columbia River Highway from the Portland Women's Forum east of Corbett to Larch Mountain Road. A reminder to be just extra careful out there if you're driving anywhere through the Northwest this week.
Let's hop over to new details this evening revealing how the Trailblazers sold political leaders on using public money to renovate Moda.
And it's been pretty high stakes because the NBA commissioner and others have essentially said there has to be a reno to keep Rip City. Let's turn it over to Evan Watson now live outside the Moda Center to break down how this all came together. Evan.
Yeah, Christine and David, similarly, that's kind of what the Blazers were saying here. Earlier this year, when the discussions around a Moda Center revamp were heating up, I requested public records, and the documents here are fascinating, showing how the Portland Trail Blazers put that pressure on to try and persuade political leaders that a publicly funded renovation is necessary in order to keep the team in Portland.
How do you convince politicians to pay $865 million to renovate an arena? For one, Rip City Management and the Portland Trail Blazers sent a pitch deck pointing to civic pride, economic growth, and the desire to make Portland a destination city for national events. The team highlighted a few other NBA arena projects, saying comparable markets like Charlotte, Oklahoma City, and Indianapolis primarily used public funds. The graphic didn't include examples like Milwaukee, where wealthy team owners and taxpayers split the cost 50-50. The Blazers also included a toolkit, talking points to support a Moda Center revamp. The new ownership group includes billionaires. Why can't they pay for the renovation? There are limitations in Portland. Paul Allen's previous private financing was an outlier, and an additional $600 million on top of the $4.2 billion sale price is not possible. And importantly, does renovating the arena mean the Blazers will stay in Portland? A long-term lease for the Moda Center will commit the Blazers to playing in the building for the duration of that agreement, the team said, as long as public funding can be committed. The city of Portland, which bought the Moda Center in 2024, says it will negotiate a new 20-year lease with the Blazers this spring as part of its funding deal. Mayor Keith Wilson said he was thrilled state lawmakers recently approved $365 million for an arena upgrade to be repaid by taxes on Blazers players, staff, visiting players, and performers.
It's going to allow us to keep the Blazers and allow all those families that have grown up with that fantastic team and entertainment to really enjoy that for generations to come.
Public records show Wilson used different talking points to try and sway different state lawmakers in Salem. For Democrats, he highlighted sustainability and the arena's clean energy programs. For Republicans, that was excluded. He instead acknowledged questions about Portland, offering to show lawmakers how he's working on lingering challenges like housing and economic development. Wilson pitched economic benefits to both sides. The city of Portland and Multnomah County are planning to pay about $500 million combined for their part of the upgrades. These public documents include unpublished renderings of a potential Moda Center renovation, concepts of a new exterior, and a new bar and suite area. Rip City Management ultimately sold politicians on the risk that the Blazers could leave, writing, "In smaller markets like Portland, where venues cannot generate the same amount of revenue as teams in big markets, public investment is necessary to secure the long-term future of a team." So far, elected leaders have signaled it's a price they're willing to pay.
As it stands, the arena revamp and the maintenance for years to come is set to be completely paid for by public funds. The city of Portland and the Portland Trail Blazers are still negotiating over who would pay for any cost overruns if this project goes over budget. That's part of that long-term lease negotiation that's set to happen this spring. But it is important to note that this is not a done deal yet. Governor Kotek has not signed that state law into effect as of this point. And the city of Portland and Multnomah County still need to vote on their portions of this funding package. But as it stands, all the signs point to all parties wanting this to progress and move forward. David, Christine?
Yeah, interesting information you found in those documents you requested. Evan Watson reporting. Thank you, Evan. And as you heard him mention, still a lot to happen before those renovations get underway. So you can look for the latest anytime at KGW.com or on our free TV streaming app, KGW Plus.
Let's get to your headlines now. Clark County has agreed to pay $7.5 million to the widow of a Vancouver police officer mistakenly shot and killed by a Clark County deputy. You may remember this case. Dawnese Sahota filed a lawsuit last year alleging negligence by that deputy and the county in the death of her husband, Donald Sahota. He was off duty when he confronted a robbery suspect named Julio Segura outside his home. The two wrestled in the driveway before deputies arrived and shot Donald, mistaking him for the suspect. Here's what Dawnese said at the sentencing.
The defendant not only took away my person, the love of my life, my everything, but also he took my home, my peace, my identity, my sense of place, my purpose.
Segura is serving 29 years in prison. The deputy who shot Donald Sahota was not criminally charged.
The Bottle Drop Redemption Center in Delta Park will close after its last day of service on July 31st. The Oregon Beverage Recycling Cooperative, which owns and operates all bottle drop sites in Oregon, says it'll work with retailers in Delta Park to expand drop-off locations. It's unclear why the location is closing, but in the past, that location has been a hotspot for criminal activity.
And for the first time ever, thousands of faculty and staff at Portland Community College have gone on strike. Celine Stevens has more from the picket lines in Southwest Portland.
Faculty and staff hit the picket lines at all 4 PCC campuses, with hundreds of people coming out for day one of this historic strike. As a result of the strike, all campuses were closed as union members from 2 separate unions demanded a better cost of living adjustment.
We want our wages to keep up with the actual cost of living.
Day one of Oregon's first strike at a community college.
We've been bargaining since May of 2025, so almost a year of bargaining.
The PCC's Federation of Faculty and Academic Professionals and the Federation of Classified Employees demanding a better cost of living adjustment after the school's last offer Tuesday night.
Their last offer was 0% in the first year and 4% in the second year. And so that doesn't keep up with inflation.
The college president herself got a 2.5% cost of living adjustment, and they're not even offering us that much.
PCC says it's not that simple.
That 2.5% that she received, while accurate, is not in addition to other increases that other employee groups get as part of their compensation cadence and package at PCC.
She says union members' demand of an annual 3% increase over the next 2 years is too expensive.
Proposals coming from our union partners are costing the college in total between both groups an approximately $19 million. And we are prepared to settle somewhere more in the $13 million range.
PCC says they're dealing with a nearly $38 million biennium budget deficit and declining enrollment. Students and faculty members say it's a budgeting issue.
The whole point of going to school and getting an education is to get a job that helps you live and helps you feed yourself, and the fact that our community college isn't reflecting that value with its own workers is completely bizarre.
They are choosing to prioritize other areas, growing management, special projects, rather than investing it in their students, in classes, in instructors, in academic professionals, and the people who make this college run.
The unions say they plan to return to mediation on Monday, but PCC says they're welcome to returning to the table at any time. Although campuses are closed, PCC is operating remotely. In Southwest Portland, Celine Stevens, KGW News.